Juggz.
Episode
Juggz.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't actually know. I said it could be an acronym for just as guys, and I kind of hate that. No, I hate it.
Oh, you hate it?
I
Okay.
think it's
Just
worse.
as
I think it's
guys.
worse.
I said previously, I think it works because you obviously you've got like hugs, you've got
Sugs.
mugs,
Yeah.
sugs,
Thugs.
and then thugs, I guess, for me.
And together,
Thugs.
Unfortunately, don't want that to be the
together
one.
we're
But
Juggz.
Shoulds.
right, so I think the format of these shows are going to be, first up, what have you been up to in the past week? Peach, we're going to do you first. How you been?
I'm good. I've been good. I've been very good. I've driven far. Been to Southampton. Never been that far in my life. I felt like
Furthest out the
Sam.
Shire I've
I felt
ever
like Sam.
been. Yes.
So if I take one more mile, I'll be the furthest away from home I've ever been.
What did you go there for?
Meet Liam Dempsey. It was great. He's got a little chat show podcast. It feels like I'm in some kind of tavern. Some kind
It
of
looked really cool. The set
Jarl's
looked good.
Sort of fireplace in like some kind of like Viking homestead. It was great.
Oh my God, I'm
was pretty good.
immediately jealous. I got one light and I was like, I've done it, boys. I've made it
this is
good.
He's decked out with wood. He's got Gimli's axe. He's got leather chairs with fur on it. Real fur, apparently, as well.
wow.
Old, real fur. Not
Getting
like he went
Keita.
out and hunted fur.
He probably hunted
He
it.
might have done. I don't know.
I have.
And then I spent 4 hours playing a game of 40k.
How's the game go? No spoilers, because it'll be on his
Immediately
channel.
the worst part was that.
So, no, actually, I really enjoyed it because I said to him before, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've not played 40k 10th. I've played one game of 9th. And that was
Yeah.
on Warmer Plus. I don't know the rules. It's changed. My army's like been nerfed so many times that half the stuff I can't use anymore.
What is your army? Tell us about that.
I've got Astra Militarum, and that was about 1,500, 2,000 points. I can only use 1,000 of it now because most of the units no longer exist in the
Crikey.
codex.
It's not they don't exist, they're legends.
Sorry, they're legends.
They're legends.
I've also got a Gene Stealer Cult army. Half of that no longer exists, or legends.
Legends.
And same for my Sister Battle. They've changed. They've made a weird change for Sister
Yeah?
Battle, right?
What have they done?
You got a box of Dominions. It's a Dominion squad, which is like a special weapons
yeah,
squad,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's a box of 5.
Yeah.
Only comes as a box of 5.
Yeah.
You can only build them with
Oh
special
no,
weapons.
I know where this is going.
You have to field them as a unit of 10. Where did I get the other 5 from?
It would be worse.
Where did I get the other 5 from? Because the other box of Dominions doesn't give me
true.
bolters.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
Oh.
Imagine if it was like you got 4 in a box though, so you had to buy like.
That was actually the
3.
Age of Sigmar
Yeah.
2 launch box?
Yeah, I was going to say this is a common.
But then if I buy Sister Battle squad, which is 10, I can't field Sister Battle as a 5-man squad, or maybe I can. I didn't care, basically. We made our own rules and we had
Good.
fun.
Good for
and,
you.
it was great. And I had a good time.
That's nice.
I'm glad.
Journeyed all the way back home again.
I'm so jealous of the set.
I know the set's amazing.
Like- incredible.
I'm trying to build this so it's something I can just set up like a pop-up. It's a pop-up podcast. Yeah, POP. Pop.
POP, pop Juggz.
Yeah, pop jugs. Yeah, pop-up jugs.
Bit of Papa
We're still
Juggz.
keeping with Juggz.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
don't know.
If anyone has a better suggestion for what we should call this podcast, don't tell us.
Just call it the podcast.
We like Juggz in
like-
this family.
I like this. Don't tell us.
Don't tell us.
Yeah, so I was like, pop it up. Just and got the lights because obviously this is still really tech test 2. Like, so I don't know if either of you sent out the last one
If,
to your
if we
patrons.
want. Oh,
I've not
no.
sent it yet. I
No,
was
you
gonna
sent
send
us
it
it
now.
like the other day.
It was like yesterday.
but it's allowed.
Also, this
Yeah.
looks better, so let's just do this.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. But yeah, but Tom's mad about the name. But I thought I'd pop it up. But
Why
now
is
I'm
Tom mad about the name?
I don't, because he
What's
doesn't.
wrong with it?
Because he's like, are you being serious? And
Has
I'm like, I don't.
has anyone Googled Juggz yet?
I have many times.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, the original name, the HR podcast, we were like, oh no, it's not very SEO-able. Yeah, and now we go for
So
Juggz.
we wanted to call it originally the HR.
how much he's enjoying it.
He loves it. We
a great
wanted to
name.
call it the HR podcast because it was like honest wargamer plus rogues, and like you are a rogue because you came up with a name, so you count as that. You
We
did.
came
You
up with a
did.
name.
Whatever.
We came up with a
But
name.
but then Tom. I mean, if you don't know Tom, he is our like 3rd employee in Rogue Hobbies, and he's the smart one. He was like, "You can't call it the HR podcast. Do you know how many HR podcasts there are? Like hundreds."
He's right.
Thousands of HR
Maybe
podcasts.
call it Rogue Juggz.
Rogue, I
Sounds
dislike
like-
it.
sounds like
so
it.
now,
Worse.
so then we were like, oh, lol, we should just call it Juggz then, because like I think that's a very popular Google term.
I mean, so my Discord and my Patreon guys,
they're
like the
insane.
chat, have I saw them yesterday plotting. They were like, "What can we do to ensure that's all it's called?" Because someone was like, "What?" Someone in my Discord was like, "What is this thing?" And then one of them was like, "It's a working title for the development of a new show."
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, "It's not the working title; it's the title." And I was like,
I haven't told my Discord
Silver Tower
yet.
was that. That
Was
was its
it?
working title.
Is that true?
Yeah. That was its working title.
Oh, Silver Tower's great though.
Can I ask a question then from both of you about
See.
this? Because this is something people won't know about
Yes,
Games Workshop.
yes.
And that means in the first video on YouTube, we're going to be like, Games Workshop secrets revealed.
Here they are. Here it comes, exclusively on Juggz.
On Juggz.
Here on Juggz, exclusive.
Can you imagine on a forum? They're like, no, this is how it works inside Games Workshop. And they'll be like, how do you know? It's like,
What's your
these people
source?
told me on this thing called Juggz.
Google Juggz. Because all it says is just Google Juggz.
No, my question is about the working titles, because people don't know this. Peachy, can you explain it?
Yeah, so for secrecy, so it doesn't get let out too much because you have lots of documentation going around, they have a working title for whatever
It's like
project.
a secret code name.
It's a secret code name.
Secret code name.
When Citadel re-released all the paints, that was called Project Yellow. Don't know why. Just picked a
colour.
name, picked a colour.
Color.
Project Yellow.
Project
colour.
Yellow.
Would I be allowed to know the project names for other projects?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
So was Malcolm
Age of Sigmar.
Age of Sigmar?
Yep.
Because
Malcolm?
Yeah.
it was it?
It's
Was it Age
something
of
to-
Sigmar?
I think
or
it's
was
Age of Sigmar. It was
No,
definitely
'cause wasn't
Warhammer.
it X for
No,
10?
you're right. Yes.
That was it.
It was
So
40k. It was
10th
was
edition 40k was Malcolm.
Not 10th edition. It was when they
Ninth?
first brought out the Primaris stuff.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
there you
that
go.
was Dark
It was
Imperium.
called Malcolm X.
No, it was just called
Malcolm.
Malcolm because apparently they used to have a reason for naming it to like give an idea. Like Silver Tower was like a name
There
for
was
like some
hints
Zinch
to it.
stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, we'll just call it that. And then they do the Google check. And they were like, we quite like that name. So they do the Google
It's
check. I was
almost
like,
something a
"That's good
little
name."
bit edgy.
Yeah, but I think Malcolm was because something to do with MC Hammer.
I can't remember
Like his
why.
brother or his middle name is Malcolm. So it was like some kind of tedious link to
But it's
that.
not Malcolm
thought,
X.
I thought
No,
it
it's just
was.
Project
I thought
Malcolm. Maybe it's Malcolm X. No,
I thought it
definitely
was
Malcolm.
because it was 10th edition.
I think the idea came from Star Wars having like Blue Harvest and stuff like that.
It's edgy. I can't remember any other ones. I'm trying to think. Necromunda had one. Titanicus had one. Honestly, can't remember.
The
because
ones that stand out is Malcolm and Yellow, and then there's been a couple others.
We just said what it was. Like we could never remember what
This
they were.
is such a cool like backstory lore.
Oh no, there was one, and I hated it.
Oh my god.
Age of Sigmar was called Porridge.
Oh, that's terrible.
Project Porridge.
Why was it called Porridge?
Because they had 3 types of porridge. There was Daddy Porridge, which sounds terrible.
Wait,
Next
stop.
time on Juggz. Daddy Porridge.
Daddy Porridge.
That could be your name.
Mummy Porridge and
That's
Baby
me.
Porridge.
I'm Baby Porridge.
It's like the Spice Girls.
That's what I think about us three. Very similar to the Spice Girls.
Yeah. I'm Old Spice.
Girl. I'm Nutmeg.
I'm Five Spice.
5 Spice. That's a good one. I like
Five
5
Spices. Yeah,
Five
very
Spice
good.
is quite good.
It's Five Spices because it's always there, but it's never useful.
I love Five Spice.
I appreciate you so much.
Aw.
It's good in a stir fry as well.
There you
It's
go.
amazing in a stir fry.
I'm quite good at stir fries,
Rob loves
Peach.
a stir fry.
Okay, so
But
this-
yeah, porridge because you had the 3 different size of sets. That was when they first did like the main core game.
Oh, I guess
the
so.
recruitment set, and then whatever was like a trimmed down version of that.
Goldilocks sounds cool because it's like the Goldilocks zone until
Yeah.
you're like, well, this one's Daddy Porridge.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I want to throw up.
It wasn't Goldilocks; it was porridge, and it was horrible.
Throw up.
what do you think they spend more time on? Coming up with the project names or forecasting? Because I reckon I know which one it is.
I think you're right on that.
They do their best in places.
Because again, another insider question: is forecasting just 3 old wizards who cut the head off a chicken
I
and it
actually
spins around a bingo
I think
board?
so, yeah.
I know some people in forecasting and they're lovely people, but I don't know how. Like, I never asked how. Like,
I mean-
and I don't think they know.
It's like the weather, right? You watch the weather report.
Yeah.
It's a forecast.
Yeah.
They're using science to get the
Yeah.
best approximation of where the weather's going to go. But you might get a tornado. You
Yeah.
just don't know.
Yeah, so I think that happened with
guess it's the
which
same.
was the big one that's like it was not Silver Tower, Curse City. That was the big. I think
That
first
was Project Fail. Oh,
What was Curse City called?
I don't
Oh
know
no,
what the
that's the good thing about Curse City. It ended up being like absolutely on the nose.
Yeah.
It was just super cursed as a
Yeah,
release. It
yeah.
was great.
Curse City was super Hexed Hamlet.
The So, Peach, you, other than going and playing with Liam, made any videos this week?
Oh,
What
yeah.
have you been up to?
So, because I've been busy doing other stuff and I got
Yes.
this podcast, which is amazing, and I've got some one-to-ones to do tomorrow. I'm just going to do a couple of shorts. So I've done a few shorts. Just some. Just
I saw your
the weekend.
Patreon update. You're very good at updating Patreon.
You say that, but you
Better than
guys
us.
are great at updating Discord. I'm all for it, Discord. I only remember at 11 o'clock at night and go, oh, I should probably respond to some of these lovely
I
people.
accidentally posted a very
did.
niche
And
meme
I
in
was
your
there.
Discord
I was
yesterday.
literally editing at the time and going, boop, oh, sorry.
Because I'm in your Discord so often that I sometimes get it confused with my Discord, and so I just post like an extremely niche frog.
It was
meme,
great. We
and
all
I was
appreciated
like,
it.
I'm glad. I felt a bit embarrassed.
No, you don't feel embarrassed.
So I've tried to make updating. So inspiration from you. I tried to make a video now every Monday to let people on Patreon know what I'm up to.
That's a good idea.
Which
It's
is
super
that-
good
which
I'm
idea.
going to inspire myself from you and do the same.
I am going to continue being scared of social media. Thank
I think
you.
the main point of this podcast might just be to keep reminding each other to do very basic stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I'm
and then-
okay with that.
And then the other thing I do is I normally, when I get up in the morning, I go for a coffee at the coffee shop on my way to work, and then I sit and I reply to people on Discord.
Yeah.
And then that's my kind of like cool. And then I don't normally do it at the end of the day. Some people kind of like sandwich it like beginning of the day, end of day.
Yeah.
But I'm like beginning of the day, and then I catch up when I can. Otherwise, it's too much pressure, right?
There's a lot. I mean, I have still a few feedback tiers to fill out because you start doing work, you get invested in work. I have
Yeah.
like what I have like my early week is quite intense because it's filming on Monday, bit on Tuesday, editing until Wednesday, so the patrons can get it. And then Thursday is like the patrons have like gone, this is awful, you need to fix the audio. I'm like, cool.
Oh,
Thursday.
that's so mean.
That was early days, which is great, and I want that, and I want them
Yeah,
to keep
yeah,
me
yeah.
checked.
Yeah.
So I can then fix it on Thursday, then it goes live on Friday.
Weeks are
lovely.
short. Weeks are so short.
Yeah, it's great though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I just do 7 days, and then then I have just all the time.
Yeah,
I don't have
yeah.
to stress.
I don't know. I don't know if you do not stress.
I've got an idea of like maybe doing like YouTube live for like an hour, one day a week, and just sit and paint something for an hour.
I think that's
See
a
Give it
great
a go.
idea.
Might as well.
See how that goes.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I
Or a
learned
couple
most from the process is that, like, even if you have like a really small Patreon with like 10 people in it, that's 10 people who support you. So, like, one of the things that I learned to do over the time was move away from engaging with people online, because I'm obviously a terminally online Twitter monster,
Yeah.
as you know.
I called you a Twitter bitch the other day.
Yeah, super true, super true.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like it's my most toxic trait is Twitter,
Yeah.
and I know it about myself. And then so I try now, and I go, I should tweet. I go, stop. Talk to everyone in Discord.
Yeah.
Talk to those people who are like in your community.
Yeah.
Enablers.
Yeah.
Paid enablers.
Yeah, talk to the enablers. They're easier. So.
Well, yeah, I think you said something, Peachy, that struck a chord with me, which is like, I think it was you that said this, which is like, well, of course I'm going to spend more time doing stuff on my Patreon than I do YouTube, because my Patreon are there to like literally support me.
Yeah.
Like they're literally paying my monthly wage, and you are very grateful for that. Therefore, you're going to give them more than maybe people on YouTube. And that's absolutely smart, I think.
Yeah, I think I find I respond to YouTube a lot as well, like the comments on YouTube. I like to respond to that.
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
I
can.
delete so many comments.
Yeah,
So-
it's really hard.
Yeah.
Being, I've always said it's hard being a man in this space. That's what.
Is it?
I was like, where's this going? This is dangerous, Rob. Where's this going to go?
No,
Go on.
Louise, it's hard being a woman in this space.
It's so dangerous to be a man in wargaming.
I just really
I'm
struggle
trying to
with
actually think of a funny bit, but I can't because it's just not. I'm just trying, like, someone may flush my dice down the toilet. I don't know. Like,
it. That's about all that. Based on last week, someone might role play as a World Eaters player.
oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
yeah. We did discuss that last week.
That was
That's
funny.
actually a recurring segment I want to keep bringing in. But I didn't.
What, like bit of the week?
Yeah, bit of the week.
What is the drama of the week?
Well, before we get there, because we've got to do it in
Oh.
sections, let's finish off Peach. So you're doing some shorts.
Yep.
Then you're doing any other projects kind of in the back? Or
I've got
how
a
you feeling?
big project that's ongoing, which is my way of introducing people to the world of Napoleonics via 40k, but using Napoleonics to make 40k. I know, mental.
Are you going to use Napoleonics in 40k?
Yeah, so it's a two-way
It's
game.
crazy.
So I'm making it so I can play Black Powder with it, but I'm also doing it so I can use them for 40k. But I'm using Napoleonics to make Imperial Guard regiments, and I'm going to get a set of. Is it Dark Imperium? No, not Dark Imperium. What's the one with all the new Horus Heresy? The new Horus Heresy set, Age of Darkness.
Age of Darkness.
Yeah, Age of Darkness. I'm going to do that entire set because I can make a Black Powder army out of that, but also make a 40k army out of it. As
Oh
well.
my God,
so
I'm
it's a
so invested in
two
this.
in one army.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you can use it in both games.
exactly.
Two for like one
Three
of my...
games.
Three
Heresy.
first.
Heresy as well, using Heresy.
Reefers.
That's really good.
Yeah,
that's
so-
really good.
Smart.
Yeah,
People love
so
that.
you're gonna have Horus Heresy dudes, but painted up as Napoleonics.
So, well, I'm going to have Space Marines painted as just like Space Marines. So I'm going to do Iron Warriors. I'm going to do like a paint an army in 12 hours. That'll be a video. And then I'm going to build them in such a way that I can, because if you don't know Black Powder, you build your regiments in things called brigades, and in a brigade you have 70 regiments, stuff like that. It's very boring by the sounds of it. When you play it, it makes sense. So I've worked out how that's going to work. I'm going to do the same for my Imperial Guard, which is going to be using Napoleonics purely, and just head swaps and colour. So I've got like loads of figures that have like different outfits and stuff, and just doing some head swaps and some colour on them. They look like
You love a
Imperial
head
Guard
swap.
regiments. I do love a head swap, and I can have 200 figures for like 60 quid.
Well, there you
Well,
go.
we love that.
I love that.
We love that.
I love
good.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super cool.
They don't have lasguns; they have muskets, but you can pretend.
You can pretend.
I was saying this to you the other day. Muskets are very upper high 40k, which
Exactly.
works
Yeah.
for your aesthetic of Imperial
Australians have
Guard.
kind of like muskety sort
Yes,
of looking
yes.
lasguns.
It's quite interesting, like, because Necromunda does that as well, right? Like,
Yeah.
they kind of decided to somehow stick absolutely in the 1800s and then also the 80s.
Yeah.
Those are the two time zones, I think, that are clashing in
but
40k.
also the future.
But also, it's in the future.
In the future.
God.
Well, it's all like all my favorite sci-fis. It's like when you're watching, because I'm a big Trekkie, so whenever you're watching through the Star Trek films, and you're like, Star Trek in the 70s, and then the next one is like, Star Trek in the 80s. Like it's just
We're in the swinging
All the hair
70s. In
changes.
space.
space. I always loved that. I always thought it was great.
Yeah.
Louise,
Hello.
hello. What have you been up to this week?
It's been stressed.
Oh no!
Been very
Oh
stressed.
yes, we know why.
So this week
Yeah.
and tomorrow, we are going to Salute, which is, I think, the biggest single-day wargaming convention in Europe.
If you're 90 years old.
It's still the biggest.
It can't be. Essen's a board game
It's
show.
2
though,
day.
isn't it?
It's the biggest single day.
Board game or war games?
Well, I mean, I'm in the middle of this. I'm going to just not derail the conversation. Please continue.
We'll get around to you, Rob. But yeah, Salute is the biggest single-day wargaming convention, I think, in Europe. Me and Peachy have been before. It is large
It is large.
and busy.
Yeah.
It felt very busy last year, but I think it's because we were floating around. I had just left, and I think it was one of your first outings.
It was, and you
Yeah,
made me.
big ones.
She got me a cup of tea because I didn't move from the centre for
Peachy,
most
you know
of the
that
day.
scene?
Really?
You know that scene in Superman where like Henry Cavill's like walking down the street and everyone's like touching it.
Yeah. It
wasn't
that was
quite that.
Peachy.
It
It was a
wasn't
little
quite
bit
that
like
at all.
that. It was
Oh
a
my
little
God.
bit like that. So
And you're
me
both
and-
going to be there this weekend. I'm
Yeah.
going to be with celebrities. I'm
No,
so
well,
excited.
I'm going to be
So am I.
trapped behind a stall. But yeah, we have been invited. Rogue Hobbies has been invited to actually run a stall at Salute, which is, I know, very exciting, but we've never done a trade show before. I'm saying we because Rob is coming with us and he is our goblin manufacturer. So he's going to be running the stall with me.
Is he the Goblin King?
He is the Goblin King.
Goblin Flipper is
He's
what
he's been calling himself the Goblin Miner.
For a while, I've been the Goblin
Flipper.
Miner. I kept wearing like black beanies and just like, I've just got
took mine.
I've got
I
a picture
still
of Thatcher
remember
on
my
the wall
first
that I
time
keep
in
throwing
it.
darts at.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah.
Everyone had a picture of Thatcher on the wall. Oh.
I just throw darts here and then
blow it up.
Yeah, Like, the 3D printing mining union isn't big, but we're very seriously anti-Thatcher. Sorry for bringing that up. But
The cider, right?
what?
The cider.
Yes, love
not the
Thatchers.
Thatchers.
Love it. Sorry, I've derailed us again. I'm going to shut up.
Welcome to Derailed.
Yeah, the flipper.
Welcome to Derailed the Jug Show.
Juggz presents Derailed.
Except railed is in like bold italics because it's funny. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, first trade show. I'm actually just excited. I was saying this to Peachy because Peachy was like, "Oh, you're nervous?" And I'm like, "Not really. It feels like the excitement we used to get before we did like the Games Day, Warhammer Fest, stuff like that. I feel pretty well prepared. All we have to do is get there and set up and hope we didn't forget anything. And if we did, you just kind of work it out."
Yeah.
Trade shows at Games Workshop usually were very stressful and a bit of a mess and not very well organized until
Never.
you got there, and then you
Never.
just kind of work it out for yourselves.
Lies.
Yeah.
Deception.
Yeah, so I feel pretty well prepared because
Yeah.
like on my list, I have a checklist was all the things that they would always fucking forget.
Yeah.
So like things like blue tack, pens, double-sided sticky tape, masking tape,
Staff.
scissors,
Staff, yes.
frickin' scissors, running
oh
around
God,
trying
yeah.
to find out who has
Yeah.
a frickin' pair of scissors. Everything's been really well packed because I packed it myself. And then the only thing left to do is to sell goblins, which is over to Rob. Rob, what have you been doing this week?
Oh, yes. Yes, I have been flipping goblins. Today, after the show, I've got like 400, 500 goblins to box up.
So you're doing a goblin boxing party?
Yeah, I'm doing a goblin boxing party. So Chris and Morgan, who work downstairs, which super lovely people, they make an RPG. It's called Doom Song. If anyone who's watching is a
check out
RPG,
Doom Song.
Yeah, go check out Doom
Tell
Song.
them Juggz sent you.
Yeah. Say we've been sent from Juggz.
I mean, we've already decided on the merch, so
it's just bras.
I was going down the innocent route, but fine.
I wasn't.
It was actually cups.
It's just a jug.
Oh, okay. Oh dear.
That would
Well,
have
we
been
can
much
wear bras
better.
as
No,
well.
dear.
We can get bras.
I've been flipping gobbos, which has been fun. Really, really interesting. Again, so if anyone doesn't know, we 3D print all of the goblins
For Rascal Town. Yeah.
for Rascal Town, which is Louise and Tom's brand.
Anyways, you're a
Yeah,
part
I guess
of
so.
Rascal
But
Town.
you can replace the manufacturer. I think one of the interesting things last year when it all kicked off is 3D printing like a viable manufacturing process for the miniatures industry.
Yeah, I didn't think it could be done. Honestly, I was so skeptical. So at the time that we were toying with the idea of like actually selling them.
Good pun.
Thank you. I thought that was quite good too. We had We had like Trent over, Miscast,
Yep.
and he casts miniatures. It's in his name, Miscast. He's very good at it. And
That's in his name. It sounds like he's not good at it.
Miscast.
Yeah, miscast.
Oh yeah, that's true. There is a miss. He is good at it. Trust.
Okay.
But so I was watching a load of creators get miniatures professionally cast by Curtis downstairs, and they are sturdy. They are good. They it's an age-old industry casting miniatures in resin. It works. It's good. They're sturdy. That's kind of like a industry standard. You get resin miniatures and they're professionally cast. I didn't really know anyone or any other industry that 3D prints them without it being like brittle. Because I never wanted back in the day to paint a 3D printed miniature because they're so brittle.
Yeah.
I spend weeks and weeks painting a miniature, and I just don't want to paint something that can shatter like glass.
Especially if you drop it.
But even if you don't drop it, sometimes
Many
you're just
times.
leaning
Exactly.
on a 3D printed miniature and just something will snap off.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit uncomfortable when Rob was like, I think we can really make this work, but I trust Rob, and I was like, give it a go, we'll see. Right? And then tell them you came downstairs with a goblin.
Oh, yeah. So, the thing is I wasn't 100% certain that was going to be the case, right?
Hey, you're good, though. You're good at your job.
Well, thanks. It's the same as anything, right? You just do the research. And I think it's one of those, monumental shifts in, the manufacturing paradigm, maybe in the future, not sure. Because obviously, as printers get better, also the material that you're printing with gets
resin.
better, the resin. So we went from, your pretty standard commercial resin, because people 3D print stuff for dentists and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so what other resins are on the market? So we bought a bunch, tried them all out, and then the one that we eventually settled on ended up being 2 to 3 times the price of if you're a hobbyist, you normally just buy the resin from the manufacturer.
Yeah, which is brittle.
Yes, I would say
Quite.
Yeah, quite. But then this new stuff. So eventually I did a bunch of tests and we got round to it. And then, like Louise said, you had Trent over, a bunch of other people who were been in the industry for a while, professionals.
Alex from Mort Miniatures over here was here and stuff. And a bunch of industry professionals who have been professionally sending out miniatures which do not break for upwards of 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. And then
So we felt like we had a lot to prove.
like a kind of crazed scientist in a lab coat. I came downstairs and a mist came out of the box, and it was like a glowy green light, and I was like, I have done it, purest green. Yeah. So I think it's a Blackadder reference.
I get it. Grello.
Yeah. And then I said, I've done it. It's ready. And then Louise was like, will it work?
Is it good?
Yeah. So I just threw it.
He's chucked it at a wall.
I just chucked it at a wall.
Best way to test it.
He was just there, and I think I shrieked.
Did it break?
No,
Oh, fantastic.
it bounced.
Bounced
and then
several
we
times.
kept chucking it at a wall.
Yeah, we kept
And then
chucking
we
it.
gave it to
Nice.
Trent, and he was like, I'm going to stab this with my knife. And he did.
Yeah, Trent did the
was
test
really
that I
into
think
it,
was
yeah.
most interesting
It
was
was,
that it cuts kind of like plastic.
Yeah,
So instead of
okay.
snapping,
Or chipping or whatever.
Chipping, yeah. Like it cut like
because
more
Trent's
like plastic.
into conversions
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. So he's like, I'm really interested if a hobbyist like me can get this and then use it in a way that hobbyists do use, things like resin and plastic to chip bits off, cut things here, stick it on there. And I think he had an okay time doing it.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things, because next week, Juggz is live. Well, not live.
What?
But Juggz is going, we're all going to a 3D print manufacturing show.
Juggz gone wild.
yes.
Juggz Gone Wild is not what it's called.
Peanut bra.
Juggz gone wild.
Anyway, yeah, so we're at the NEC because there's a 3D print manufacturing.
It's a manufacturing show.
Yes, and I like and again with the
Interesting.
barest knowledge, I think we've sent out miniatures which people are really happy with. We've seen them survive all sorts of stuff.
I think we've sold over 1,000 and had like 3 breakages during the flood when things were just getting punted through windows.
amazing.
Yeah,
and
I think like probably there's like as like an amateur semi-professional producer.
We're an
I
indie
think-
company.
Yeah, there's probably even better technologies out there, or better
yeah.
emerging technologies. I think that's quite an interesting thing. I'm really excited about that next week.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been making goblins this week, which means going into the mines, listening to an audio book. I've been listening to an audio book called Rage of Dragons, which is really interesting. It's like a classic fantasy tropes, but a lot of it's based on like African culture as the backdrop. So
That's
instead,
interesting.
yeah, so instead of it being like medieval like Europe,
Yeah.
like which some of those are my favorite books,
Yeah.
like Remedy Feist and stuff. It's based on that. It's quite fun. It's been
sounds
fun.
cool.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that.
That's cool.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing this week, and then making lots of videos because Age of Sigmar is coming out, Age of Sigmar 4, and then also trying to make this look a little bit nicer.
You've been doing quite well on YouTube because there's been some spicy Age of Sigmar news.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week, but they deleted a bunch of stuff, right?
Yes, I was going to say, I didn't realise because we were talking about Stormcast
Yeah.
being removed.
Yeah.
I'm okay with some of the new stuff. I know
Yeah.
we
Yeah,
discussed
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm happy with that. More converting for me. Was not expecting Warcry things to be.
So this is
And
it.
some of that was only a year ago.
Yes.
So we were talking about it and I was like,
Interesting.
oh, it
Yeah.
sounds really sad. And then I went on Twitch and then people are like, Louise, have you seen how much it is? And I actually looked at the article
It's a lot.
and I was like, is this bad? Is
What
this...
I don't get is the choices. So you got Iron Golem are being removed, but Untamed Beasts aren't. They were both the first ones in the set.
So it's not a time thing.
Yeah, and then you got the Horns of Hashut, which were in the Rotmire
those.
Creed set, but not Rotmire Creed on there either.
no.
So it's like, why is it one but not the other? Why
Because
is it?
Rotmire Creed are in Nurgle and they want to keep them there.
Well, this is what I'm thinking.
There's a big question mark right now. So in the Age of Sigmar updated article, because they've done loads of them, and they have, I think, presented information fairly well, even if it's not very palatable information. They have said that one of the things that's going to happen is in Age of Sigmar 4, because currently you can use the Underworld's warbands in an Age of Sigmar army, which is quite fun.
But like Rotmire Creed is quite popular.
Yeah,
isn't
they're
it?
Warcry, but like Zarbag's Gits was one that was super popular.
I love Zargbax.
Exactly.
Kits. Ooh.
But you won't be able to use those in Age of Sigmar. They won't have war scrolls for it.
Oh, I thought they still would.
No, they've specifically said they won't. And I think that they might also...
Still use them as little dudes, though.
Oh, of course.
Like Wymer.
I mean, a set of Warcry minis...
What about Moloch's Mob? They're beautiful.
All of them, I think. I know.
But it's lovely.
You could use them as a Trogger.
But it's lovely. Why are you laughing at me?
Again, I haven't made any of these decisions.
Why
I'm
not?
just-
Why not?
I try, like, this is one of those new things that I never thought would happen. When you make a YouTube video and you're like, especially gaming stuff, you're like, by the way, guys, you can't use this. And people are like, why are you doing this to me? And I'm like, whoa.
Why have you done that?
I'm just passing on the... It's the messenger
Why
being
have you
shot
done
again, isn't it?
this? I was talking about this with my friend today, actually, and it was my... I know, right? My Rainbow Warrior video and the amount of people that still comment on it being like, why are you trying to be gay?
And it's like...
why are you doing your utmost to be woke?
Yeah.
Why are you forcing me to dance your wokey cokey?
Where were we at?
You were saying the old world FAQ.
FAQ.
Well, no, you wanted to bring it up because you wanted to talk about Rainbow Warriors and the fact that they did an FAQ where I think this is a nothing burger, but
It is a nothing burger, but it's funny.
It is funny. It is funny. They did a bunch of stuff. They have done a second FAQ. You actually, what's your thoughts about FAQs?
I guess, from my point of view, from all the years I've done wargaming, I hate having to search for information. I just want to read what's in the book and then
Super
use
fair.
what's in the book.
Yeah.
I agree.
with Warcry, I just play what's in the book. And I know there's FAQs. Can't be bothered to find them. Can't be bothered to look at them because don't print a book if it's not right.
I think the problem
Or
is...
if you're just going to update it a month later in White Dwarf.
And I guess sometimes it's like there was an error, but then, you know, that's
an error.
That's an error, and that should have been picked up. And if it's not been picked up, it's hard because I'm not like really into like the wargaming side of it. I paint models for story and then use the wargame rules as a way of moving my toys. Yeah, it's a framework for moving my toys around on the table. So the FAQs don't really tend to bother me. When I go to like playing with like mates and stuff, like, oh, we've not got the latest FAQ. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Really don't care. I really don't care because you end up having like 55 bits of paper hanging around. You've got like already like a handful of codexes hanging around, all doing different things, and you've got the rule book. I'm just like, life's too short. Just gonna read the book I got.
I don't disagree with that in any way. I think one of the really interesting things about what Games Workshop need to realise, and maybe all miniatures company need to realise, and I'd like to get back at some point for us all talking about like the trade show we're going to go to, but like being the person who does a lot of gaming stuff, the disparity in the gaming community is so wide. There is actually not a gaming community. There's multiple gaming communities, but they don't
just in Warhammer.
Just in Warhammer alone, and I'm not just talking about the different systems. I'm talking about like the approach to the game. And it would be like, and I know games have tried to approach that in the past, but like I think some of it is about like the audience. I think that's the thing. I've been really trying to get that through to people at the moment, and understand that more myself, so I can explain to people. I'm like, you're all different.
I'm trying to work out when and why it changed because like 5th edition Warhammer, 4th edition Warhammer,
40k.
Warhammer Fantasy.
Fantasy.
Played them a lot. I didn't have 40k until like probably 4th edition as well, actually. But they didn't get FAQs. We just played with the rules until the rules changed. And then usually one side was a bit over the top and you had to find ways of dealing with that. But I definitely remember like playing many games of like Warhammer in the stores and before that with my family. And it was just like, these are the rules. This is what we play. I don't recall there being FAQs though. So I might be wrong. They might have been.
So the issue is like, because this is kind of happening in the old world now, is that like we could talk about this forever. I think the important part is that if you're selling something to a customer, like a book, like, and it doesn't really work, you probably should update it. Like, but the problem is,
and by update it, you mean release an FAQ?
Yeah. The issue is that they don't actually. What do I describe them sometimes as like firework salesmen. You know, like if you ever had like in your local village or town or something.
There's that shop that becomes a fireworks shop.
For like a week.
And
then the next week it's closed. That's Games Workshop.
But
like, I don't want to say that they're sniker or salesmen. I don't mean like that. And no disrespect to the creatives who create the product that they do.
Thank you, creatives.
Thank you so much. But they're just super under-resourced.
Yes.
And so like, as long as you can accept that, and the thing I've been trying to tell people at the moment is like, Games Workshop games are great because they're exactly like, because me and Louise went to see Kong and Godzilla the other day.
Kong times Godzilla.
What did you think of the movie, Louise?
I freaking loved it. There was a big lizard and a big monkey.
Yeah, it's fine. Keep going.
I'm just going to get arrested. There's a big lizard and a big monkey, and they were like, "Oh, we are not friends." But then at the end, they're like, "Oh, maybe we could fight together."
Nice.
And Godzilla was pink, which was really cool, and there was a baby monkey.
Oh, did they not fight as friends in the last movie though?
No, they were enemies.
But I'm sure they joined up at the end.
Yeah, they did to do Mecha Godzilla.
To fight Mecha Godzilla. Yeah.
So
that's true.
they did a little bit of that again.
They're
never quite friends. Like they can never quite like get over themselves. But
Louise,
what's your point?
My question is during that movie,
how many neurons were firing in my brain in order to understand what was happening?
Yeah, how much? Like would you?
Absolutely, just turned off. They were.
That's the kind of movie, though, isn't it? You have those movies where you just switch off.
They were sitting in their little seats with me, just watching the movie. Like it wasn't like I loved it. I thought it was really, really cool. But it was entertainment.
Yeah.
It was very entertaining. There's still like a lot of these movies I think are still latching onto like Marvel quips, which isn't my favorite type of thing. I think in the Godzilla movies they've not been too egregious. I didn't even think it was that bad in I think it's King of Monsters. I think that was fine. But yeah, like there was some really cool bits. It was like this ancient, like Lemurian, Lovecraftian sort of like race of people.
That bit was wild. Like some of the most visually stunning stuff
also,
I've ever seen.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
We should have said that. Spoilers. I guess it's too late. Put the spoiler alert back.
Spoiler.
But yeah, It was very cool, but then it's like they kind of bypass all that to be like, "Hey, you want to see some big guys fighting?"
Yeah,
or...
do you want to see a guy with a Thor glove punch another monkey? The answer is yes.
Of course you do.
Yes,
Of course you do.
absolutely.
Why would you not want to
What's
watch
your
that?
point, Rob?
My point is that you don't need a lot of brain capacity to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Whereas, and I wish, very much like when you're looking at Netflix and there's like all those different like options.
Yeah.
I wish games, because at the minute, like I think games are kind of broken into, and I might be wrong here, it feels like war games, skirmish games, historical games are somehow seen as something different. But it's like not a very good descriptor of the types of games.
Yeah.
And I
don't think they're bad.
I think that they're not good enough because I think like...
How would you do it?
Well, I'd love to be like a wargamer sommelier. Yeah, like...
I don't
even
know what that word means.
Now I have to do an edit where I do a split side by side. Brilliant. Yeah.
Well,
Explain.
go on.
Silmarillion, whatever you say.
Yeah. A wargamer,
Silmarian.
silver... Yeah, no, I can't say that word.
I think it means monkey. I think he wants to be a monkey.
Jokes. They're the people who, when you go to like a big fancy high-end restaurant, they're like, they choose the wine that goes with your food.
How
You
rude.
don't choose.
Why don't you choose?
Because they're professionals. Like they understand what wine goes with what.
Oh,
and
they're
also,
like those dickhead guys. Like, I know what you want. You want a salad.
no, that's different.
Okay.
That's completely different. These are professionals in the space.
They're called stalkers.
They're called stalkers.
Yeah, and also a salad. I know.
I love salad. Actually, I actually kind of want. I said that
What
because
a
I kind of want
burger.
a salad.
Come on.
Anyway.
Yeah, they just basically like they know what wines go well with something.
Okay,
And it's
so
part of
like,
the
okay, you've
experience,
got
right?
the monkfish. How dare you suggest I pick a red wine, you dunce?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
got it.
Yeah. And as someone
Okay.
who's teetotal, this is very funny that I know this, I guess, versus you two.
Teetotal does sound like you've just off your nuts. Like it does. It doesn't sound like you're not drinking.
Oh, does it not?
I don't know. Teetotal to me sounds like I'm fucking teetotal tonight, lads. Like it sounds more drunk than just saying.
does a bit, doesn't
It does. Anyway.
I've already read it as you just drink tea.
Yeah.
Oh, haha, I like that.
That's
It's
what I've always-
teetotal.
Yeah, teetotal. You're teetotal.
I'm tea.
Yeah, total
I'm-
tea.
Yeah, turtle tea.
Turtle tea.
Turtle tea.
I like hot chocolates.
This is okay. Good tangent.
I've got a point though about war games rules.
Yeah.
So I think Workshop can learn something from things like Shatterpoint and Legion.
Yeah.
Because their rules are free
Yes.
and they're constantly updated digitally.
Yes.
So when they have FAQs, you don't need to find the FAQ. It's already updated and you don't have to worry about it. And the thing I do like is Legion has its printed card. The only thing that's like, I guess, becomes redundant is the points cost. The point, don't bother putting it on. As soon as I started playing this game and found that out, I was like, don't bother putting it on. It seems pointless because if after the first if after the first release suddenly those points become redundant, then just don't stick them on. But all the keywords will never change, the descriptions will never change. It's just the keyword description changes to match whatever. And I'm just like, that's smart. That's very smart.
I think Rob's in the same boat as you, where Rob does think rules should be free.
I've for many years now, I've advocated like people come into my chat or watch my videos. I'm like, don't buy the books.
If people are new here, explain why.
Everything Peachy just said, not only for like the consumer, it's more like there's so many negatives to there being a book, but I don't think that they shouldn't sell books.
I like having the books.
I think a book should be like, I want to find out about high elves, and it should be this expansive tome with loads of pictures and art and paint guides and everything you would want from that book with background and lore. I'm vibing on that. I think that would be great.
Make it worth getting, right?
And I would buy each one of those.
Yeah.
The issue is, let me just talk about the negatives. Like, so that's a huge positive, which I would buy.
Yeah.
I'd like everyone to know.
Well, having a book.
Yeah, like my favorite books to this day, are always the Forge World books.
Yeah.
So Tamrakhan, Monster Arcanum,
Monstrous
the Black,
Arcanum is hot.
the
Black Leather books,
the
the
Black
Horus
Heresy
Heresy
books.
books, yeah.
And they are so spenny. Yeah, so expensive, but like the quality was. Do you know what I mean? I want a tome.
Yeah, you look like some kind of rich Victorian
And the
gentleman with a big
collector's
sort of
items.
like bookcase shelf full of these old tomes.
It's cool.
Yeah,
like
it's
they
cool.
are collector's items, like the miniatures, right?
Yeah.
They have value in them being like cool, I guess.
Yeah, you when you open one, like while you're sat at a coffee shop, you're like, God, I smell like rich mahogany right
Wait,
now.
do you open Horus Heresy tomes in coffee shops?
Yes,
Oh my
Of course he
god.
does.
Yeah.
So hot. That's so fucking hot.
Juggz.
Damn. Leave some for the rest of us. Rob, Jesus. Just imagine making eye contact with Rob just across a coffee shop and it's just like the horse. Like, who's he?
I would not be looking up.
I feel uncomfortable.
I would be looking at my book. But yeah, no, Peach, I'm with you 100%. I think you're absolutely right. Like, so all the negatives, you have to keep spending money every year on books, not models.
Yeah.
And I'm like, aren't we in it for the models? Books are cool,
Yeah.
in it for the models. They need updating, which is obviously a negative.
Yes.
So people feel like their things are invalid, which I see a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, it means you don't have a more dynamic response time as well. A lot of changes that are made to rules are done with the idea that they want the book to be as valid as possible to the end of its life cycle.
Yeah.
So therefore, they don't make as egregious changes, which is a worse product overall.
That's interesting.
And then you end up you just end up with a bunch of people recycling just metric tons of books.
Yeah.
You know, there's a, like, not to be too cokey about it, but like, you know, there's a big carbon imprint, like with all of the things that you bring in, like you put in a ship, you travel over here, like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And
it could just also PDFs, let's face it, when you're playing a game on a table, I remember this was a huge problem with orcs. You have two other chairs next to you that you just put all your shit on.
Yeah.
Like you've got your chair for all your dice and your chair for your books, plus what other printouts you've got, and you're rifling through them and stuff. It's just nicer just to have a little iPad PDF.
I don't know if I mentioned it before, but it's something I've always wanted them to do. And I think there was talk about it at one point, which was you would have a section in the book, which was a separate book, which was just background. That never changes because it's the story, right? The story doesn't really change. It just moves on. Yeah. So if they did another edition later on for, I don't know, Astra Militarum, maybe there's some new stuff added to it, like the Attila and Rough Riders and whatever new sets that have come out. You bulk that out a bit. But your background book isn't going to be made redundant. So that's a separate book. Yeah. If you want that, get it. And then you've got obviously the rules, which should be free. And then you've got this thing which is like all your data sheets and all the things that you need to actually physically, you know, understand the game
I would
side
love
of it.
that for orcs, because when I first started playing orcs again, I think it was like 6th or 7th edition 40k or something. The codex was my favorite thing. Like I was so excited to buy my first codex, and I just read all of the lore like 4 times in a row. And if that was just like a separate book, which doesn't change, which is like the history of the orcs, key orc characters, all of the clans and stuff, I would have eaten that up.
Yeah.
Straight up. And then I'd be like, cool, I just get my rules in a PDF and I'm happy.
The sad consequence, though, is that they just make so much money from the books.
Dude.
Like, you know, and like a huge portion of this, and for people at home, I kind of challenge people on this, which I think is very funny. Like, has anyone read any of the recent Horus Heresy? Peachy, maybe only you. Have you read any of the Horus Heresy narrative in like the Aranthian Succession, which has been the most recent one?
Not really, no.
No, but did you buy the book?
No.
Okay, but like I would argue that almost in every case, most of the books are bought for like the rules, and then those bits are left out, which is why like I think whoever's writing the Aranthian Succession has been able to get with the most scathing criticism of Games Workshop in like hidden Necromunda form. If you read through
what do you mean? What are you talking about? Like go back.
If you read through the narrative in the Necromunda books that have currently been released, that person is just taking pot shots at Games Workshop through
so you
the
think
lore.
You are quite a conspiracy
Sorry,
theorist.
I thought you meant Horus Heresy. Yeah, you mean Necromunda. I've got a couple of
Necromunda.
Sorry,
Yes.
say
You
Horus
said
Heresy.
Horus Heresy. I was like, what is he talking about?
And then I was like, Aranthian Succession, I know that one.
No, the Necromunda.
He's talking about Necromunda. So
Yeah.
in the Necromunda lore, you believe that hidden inside of the text is subtext.
Not hidden.
Which is taking pot shots,
yeah.
at G-Dubs. Rob, explain.
Yeah, that's it. That's my.
What
I would have to go and get the book and find it. Maybe we could do that on another show.
Yeah,
next
well,
week.
another
I'll do
Juggz.
some research for next week.
There we go. Okay, done.
So you think one of the writers is secretly being like, I hate this shit.
I don't think it's secretly. Like, I think it's like, because then, like, my point I'm trying to get at is they make so many books. So many all the time. And I think almost no one reads them. That's the other thing that's kind of like my savage take, is that they sell them. And then the worst part of this whole process is no one reads it.
Are you talking about codexes?
Codexes, yeah.
And you know, the other terrifying, no, I say terrifying, sad thing is like they don't really change the background. They just regurgitate the background. Because I was there in Books and Box Games when they used to do that. I'm like, just copy and paste.
Well, that was one of the issues they had with the Horus Heresy is they copy and pasted a bunch of heritage passages from it. And that's why people got a bit upset, because they were like, there will never be female Space Marines ever. And people were like, Why'd you put it in? Why wouldn't you just leave
why
it
is that
out?
a new thing you put in?
Why is
or-
that a new thing? And it wasn't a new thing. They just copied and pasted it from a book like 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
But again, to be clear, I think it's because all those departments are under resourced.
Yeah.
But that's also okay because like the consumer, like us, doesn't engage with it like as like a top end product. Like most people are just like, oh, there's the rules that I need. And some people do read it, but you don't like, if you're a Black Templars player, or you're an Orc player, you're like, cool, I've got my Orc book. And I know all the backstory, and then you get the new Orc book. You're like, well, I'm not going to read the story again. I know Orcs. I'm
Black
an Orc
Templar
guy.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Whereas, like, I agree with you. I would love it if they had like, so we're releasing Snake Bites or the Beast Snagger guys. Like, I'd love it if we got like an expansion on that.
Yeah.
Like, and then
That would be so cool.
that was the focus because you already know about Orcs.
Yeah.
I would have eaten that up.
Yeah.
I was so excited for the Beast Snaggers, but then they never branded them as Snake Bites.
No, it was weird.
They were supposed to be.
Yeah. I always thought they were going to be snake bites, and they just got this weird terminology.
I don't know why they
Beast Snaggers.
didn't. It's because they wanted. I think I know why they didn't. It's because any Orc clan can have Beast Snaggers. So it means that, and Snake Bites have always been the least popular Orc clan, which I think is sad. But it just meant that, your all the other clans, like no matter what you already play, like Blood Axes and stuff, they can have Beast Snaggers too. So it just meant that every Orc player could have these toys instead of just ones that wanted to do Snake Bites.
But I think the thing I'd love to see is like, because Games Workshop's the biggest paradigm, it's like not the like it's the way everything's done, but like obviously Shatterpoint and Legion do it better, like you said.
Yeah.
But I think that there's like a more deliverable system.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited about. Oh, look at this, master of the segue. Maybe we'll see that at Salute.
Oh, we're back at. How did
Nice.
we get here?
Nice.
Thanks,
We're
I did it.
absolute.
I did it. I think I got
Whoa.
it. I think I got it. Peach.
Yes.
You have been obviously like, I mean, even before while you were at Workshop, you were playing other systems.
Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything at Salute or any other systems like miniatures or anything you might try and go check out at Salute?
There's a lot of companies I check out every year anyway.
Who?
who is
Crooked
it?
Dice. I really like Crooked Dice
I
stuff
like Crooked
because
Dice.
they have a nice wide selection of really well sculpted miniatures. They're in metal, but they are based off like TV shows. So I'm a big fan of Flash Gordon. I'm a big fan of V. They don't really do much Cobra stuff and G.I. Joe, but they have like Doctor Who and
Buck Rogers.
they do have Buck Roger stuff as well.
I can't believe
yeah,
anyone
yeah.
sells Buck Rogers minis. I'm
and
so
Cylons
excited.
and stuff like that. So if you can think of
Oh.
it, they probably sell it. But I just really like the sculpts that they do, and I always find my own way of like incorporating into my own armies and collections. So I always try and go there. And there's a couple of places I'd like to look at a bit more, like Deep Cut, see some of their mats and stuff.
You went there last time.
I had 10 minutes last year.
You did.
to
I
have a
remember.
look.
I remember you
I had to rush because they were
running.
closing down, and I was like, I want a mat because I was seeing all these deep cut mats because I'm so used to like textured boards, and textured boards look good and stuff, but just for
They're
playing
like
quick
neoprene.
games.
They're neoprene mats.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mats that we use in the
Yeah,
book.
yeah, they're really good.
And,
They're
and I
really
just
good.
really, it looks like it's textured, but it's not textured, which is great because your models don't wobble and this, that, and the other. But it's good for just storing and just whipping out. And then I know it's not going to get damaged by Charlie when we're playing with like our Star Wars Legion figures and making up rules and stuff like that. And it just looks cool, and I can get lots of different styles and types. But I still like making my own boards as well. So there's that, and then I foresee a lot of it will just be smooching and smooching.
Smooching. Hello.
Mrs.
Maybe
Peach.
smooching.
Lots
Watch
of
out.
Are you opening a kissing booth?
Smoozing.
Have a kissing booth at Salute. People would love that, Peachy. People would go tits for that.
That'd be a great idea.
little
One
Peachy
pound for a kiss on the cheek.
You have a panel though, aren't you?
I do. You're on a
Hobby
panel as
Hero?
well.
You're on a panel.
You're on a panel.
You're on a panel.
I am on Hobby Heroes, which is
Who else is on that panel?
I can't. Kevin Dallimore.
Oh.
Is definitely I love Kevin. He doesn't even know I am, which is fine. But I know him, and he paints most stuff for like anything that's been shown for like, let's say, Warlord Games, War Games Illustrated, stuff for the Perry Twins. He's probably done most figures that are historical that have been painted on box art and stuff like that.
Okay.
He's done a lot of Frostgrave, Stargrave stuff as well, I think.
That's cool.
There are a couple of
So you're on
us.
a panel with him?
Yes.
And what are
some
you going to be
others.
talking about?
It's called Hobby Heroes. Last
Being
year
a
when I was
hobby
on there,
hero.
Oh,
it was
agreed.
just people just talking about like what you do, where you come from.
Where'd
and
you
that-
go?
Where'd you go?
Cotton Eye Joe.
Cotton Eye Joe. And then you've got one, which is
I'm on a
like a
week-
bake-off style thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so they've done this like Great British Make-Off.
Yeah.
And I got a bit paranoid about it because if you don't know, and I think I've mentioned this already in this podcast, but Rogue Hobbies is kind of like, or Rascal Town, I should say, my miniature like line is me who designs the miniatures, and then Tom sculpts them, and then I paint them, and then we work together for like packaging and graphic design because we're both graphic designers. So we got asked if we wanted to join in this make-off, and we're like, hell yeah, that's really cool. And the whole point is to make like some kind of pirate-themed terrain. It's very fun.
That sounds fun.
So I was like, cool, Tom, we'll like design this pirate goblin, and we'll give him like this cool big scenic base, and you'll be able to see that very soon. I don't know when this is going up. You might be able to see it right now. Big picture. So we worked on that together. I designed it, Tom sculpted it, blah, 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 blah. But I ran out of time. We both ran out of time. So Tom painted the base. So a lot of it is Tom actually painting it as well, which is great because it's like our first like big collaboration, and we are so happy with it. I need to show you it. I don't think I've shown you. It's incredible.
I've seen it.
The best thing we've ever done.
And the first thing, because the base is huge.
Oh, it's so good.
And the first thing I said was, you guys, because they're going to give the STL for the base away if you buy the thing.
If you buy the Goblin, you get a free download for the big scenic base.
Yeah. Which is honestly awesome. But like one of the things I think lots of people have told me about 3D printing is that they don't have the space at home.
They just don't have a printer.
They don't have a printer.
Most people don't. 90% people don't have
it's
a printer.
It's like compressors and airbrushes is probably the same.
Exactly the same.
Yeah,
like everyone's like, get an airbrush, it's the best. It's like, I don't have room, time, don't want to learn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
it's a whole thing,
So I talked to Louise, and I spoke to even Tom this morning about it. I was like, we should try to find a way to manufacture it. And
I think Tom's quite keen.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of those things where, again, I need to be a better manufacturer.
That's why we're going to the manufacturing con.
And that's why we're going to manufacturing con to learn how to do it. Because like between Louise and Tom, and even you, like, you know, I'm sure at some point you want to make some minis, or maybe
I've got a couple of people in line who want to do some stuff. Maybe a peachy faced Ventrilian Noble.
Love that.
Ventrilian Noble. I'll probably have to come up with another name for it.
A
Trillion Vobel.
Venting Nobles.
Yeah.
Or ventriloquist knobhead.
A Juggzy
I like
Noble.
ventriloquist knobhead. That's good.
That's what Liam kept calling them. Like, stop calling them that. They're not ventriloquists.
Sorry, apologies.
You're okay with knobheads? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am. That sounds cool.
The ventriloquist
And,
knobheads.
and the make-off thing that you're doing, is that like you're actually just building some stuff on the day?
Well, this is it. So no. We just turn up with some stuff, and it's super casual because my thing was like, so Tom can actually make it to the event. He's got our wedding literally on Saturday. So on Friday, we're lucky enough that he's helping us with setup. No, his wedding.
We are at his wedding in a few months.
It's on my birthday.
Yeah, it is.
It's a double whammy. But yeah, so I was really paranoid because I didn't feel comfortable turning up to this make-off with something I hadn't like done 100% myself. Right? I know you're shrugging, but like it's really important to me because I felt at Salute, I already feel a little bit out of place, and I shouldn't feel out of place because I don't want to turn up and it's like, I know the people at Salute.
That's how I feel at Salute as a man.
Oh, shut up. Shut up. God damn it.
Were you happy to be part of the team though?
Well, yes. Well, this is exactly correct because like I don't want to turn up there and I'm like a giggly girl with her silly little goblin miniatures. Like I'm already like, am I going to be judged for that? Am I going to be judged for that?
Of course are. It's full of old people.
And then but then I turn up to a make-off and it's
including
like,
me.
oh, I didn't sculpt or paint this, right? And it's just, I thought it was a real bad look. So I talked to all the organizers and they were like, it's absolutely fine. Like, they essentially just said no one cares, which is fair. But it's my first time doing something like presenting it as a collaboration, and I would have loved for Tom to be there to be proud of his own work. And I in no way like want to take credit for it at all. Crediting's quite like a moot point for me because I'm like, I want to give it now that it got like taken away from everyone so much at Games Workshop. I really want to like
But there's
force
so
it.
many things out there that are not just sculpted by one person. It's like a team
100%,
effort.
Yeah, and painted. And I'm so proud of us. It's honestly the best work we've ever done.
It's
and
stunning.
I'm so proud of Tom as well. I think it's fantastic. But yeah, so we got the make-off and then Moonstone are going to be there. We were talking about who we want to visit. So Annie, obviously, Bad Squiddo.
Bad Squiddo, yeah.
Yep, Annie Bad Squiddo. I think we're doing goblin colouring in again this year, which will be great fun. But yeah, I think Moonstone, I messaged them on Twitter because I think I heard they were coming and they're coming. Do you know about Moonstone?
I know about Moonstone. Yeah.
So very similar to Rascal. Well, not similar to Rascal Town, but a good vibe. It's a similar vibe. It's like little goblins.
I think
little,
the thing
that
was about, again, going back about the sommelier of Warhammer, Wargaming.
Monkey Man.
Yeah, Monkey Man.
Monkey Butler.
The fact that you both said at the same time is hilarious. But anyway, like Louise, I've never seen Louise buzzed to play a game. And then she went to Salute with you last year.
It was Games Expo.
Oh, Games Expo, sorry. But whichever it was, like you went to you came back and she was like, I've played this game, Rob, and it's amazing.
It was so
and
fun.
I was like, that's like amazed. Like, what was good about it? She's like, you don't need to know anything. Like, you just have cards.
You have 3 dice, and it's for like, because my issue with gaming is numbers, and I just hate it. And this one, it's like split up into like a different like phases, and all the phases are just fun, no numbers.
Yeah. Okay.
All the phases are like, okay, cool. So it's like the combat system is like actually based on sword fighting. So if I block here and you pull a parry card, then it actually works.
Nice.
And then the magic phase is like
yeah.
a subterfuge little card game where you have to like call my bluff on what I've got in my
That's
hands.
cool.
It's so fun. And every single phase, like what would be like the movement phase, measure, the like, I don't know, like pile-in phase, measure, the shooting phase, do maths. Every single one of those is like actually a fun little game.
Yeah,
and
okay.
I was so hype. And I went to like have a little demo game at Games Expo with Moonstone, and it was great fun. And they were lovely guys, and their miniatures are fantastic. So I love Moonstone. I've got
boxes full of
we
Moonstone
got
stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
Never
I think
done
I've got
anything
similar
with
stuff.
them.
I've not done anything
Me
with
neither,
it.
because I just have no time. If Moonstone's watching this right now, I love you guys. I just have no time.
I mean, do you find this? I mean, we went to ChillCon recently.
Loved it.
I got loads of people like, there's a really cool game by Nevosa.
Yes, I
which
remember
is
them talking
tribes.
to you. Yeah, the tribe guys.
And I want to
those
do some
were
of it. It's all
great.
like little 3D printed tribesmen and women, 2 tribes fighting against each other, a cool little set of rules and stuff. Want to find some time to actually paint the things and try the game because it looks mega. And there's loads of other things that have been like, people send stuff and like, can you
and we
try
love
this?
them, and we
just don't have the time.
Don't have the time.
But
I got the
I've got that
Xena
drive.
Warrior Princess stuff.
Yes,
so
yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I just
jealous.
I need more. And I used to have this like a little cheer up box of miniatures that only take me an evening to paint. You're probably better at this than me, but for me,
I'll paint in a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Dry brush them.
But I don't know. I always feel so guilty because it's not like we don't care. We just don't have time.
Yeah. Do you know how to help you on?
How?
Move your arm faster.
Oh my God, stop.
Best technique ever.
Literally.
One of the most
for me.
learned things I've ever learned.
Honestly.
Wisdom direct from the teat of a peach.
So the the jug of the peach. So for those who don't know, when I was in masterclass, I was having a really hard time for a little bit because
really
they
helped with that then.
really helped. So I was like in a meeting room with
Supportive.
Peachy, having a good big cry, as I often did. And I was like, I was like, well.
No crying nowadays.
No cry.
No cry zone.
No women.
Less cry.
No cry, no zone.
No women,
Yeah.
less cry. So I was like, they're trying to do this ridiculous deadline on me. They're telling me like, you can do a masterclass in a day. And I'm like, no, the fuck I can't.
No.
And Peachy's like, it's all right, Louise. Just move your hand faster.
But
And
what's funny is to add context to the story is Louise comes home from work because I don't think we were living together at that point.
No.
And then Louise comes home and she's like upset, obviously, and she's telling me the story. And then she's like, and then Peachy said, just move your arms faster. And then she like kind of goes off and gets ready to like.
Did I actually upset you on that?
No.
No, but
No, it was funny. It's a good thing. Don't worry. No, it's a...
But I'm sat there and as she like gets up and I'm like, oh bless her. And then I'm like,
Actually.
yeah, you should just move your arms faster.
So now Rob literally does that. It's like sometimes I'll catch him and he'll just be like, just do what Peachy said, and he'll just start like speeding up whatever he's doing.
I have taken that so to heart. I can't believe
like literally because it was a joke and I understood it was a joke, and then I told Rob, and then Rob was like, actually that's the smartest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's true. Life changing.
Life changing.
I'm so fast now.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to at Salute? That's a good question. Actually, yeah, because Rob doesn't really like cons.
Oh, that's not true.
Go on.
Like, I actually think that I love cons. Like I did.
Really?
I launched Blood Bowl at Essen with Games Workshop.
Yeah, and did you love it? I didn't think it was your jam.
Blood Bowl was an interesting one because because Games Workshop, no offense, Games Workshop,
How you being mean?
didn't do much of like a briefing. They weren't like,
What?
here is, there wasn't
shocking news.
I'm shocked.
like there's some context for people who might not know is I worked like Louise and Peachy at Games Workshop, and one of the things that I did do was I did Warhammer Live, and I would present when new books were coming out, and I did all the kind of stuff they do in previews now, but back in the day.
I remember the Sylvaneth
But you did
one.
loads of cool adverts as well. You were pretty much the face of Warhammer TV for
Remember
a time.
Chaos Black XL?
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Google Chaos Black XL.
But the the point is I remember getting the Space Marine book an hour before I was going live.
Yeah.
And it's been advertised all week.
Yeah.
You find out about the Space Marine book, and no one came in as like a product developer. Although eventually we did get that, and it was, who's the head of like, he's like one of the
Stu?
managers, Ben, he's the head of...
Ben Curry?
No. He's the head of miniatures, or one of the managers manufacturer.
I don't know.
I know what you mean.
He's so lovely. I really like
Ben,
him.
I should know his surname. It's really annoying me right now.
Thank you, Ben.
It's Ben something, isn't it?
Yeah, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, but he's great, whatever his name. But eventually this was a job role, but this was just as I left. But they would basically just be like, here's a Space Marine book. And no, like, these are the changes, these things that we're doing new.
It's so wild to see the difference between Warhammer TV when it first started and then when, like, we left. Because, like, they're so anal now.
Yeah, but my point was like I like, and same when I went to LVO for the first time Games Workshop had like done an event outside of like its own company for years. Which led to one of my favorite stories ever, where there was I was wearing the Warhammer shirt, and me and Dan were setting up all the live stream equipment to like stream the event, and some bloke walked past. He was like, "Are you from Games Workshop?" I was like, "Yeah." He went, "Fuck you, buddy."
Oh, the fuck you, buddy me. Yes.
Which when I stream now, everyone in the chat's like, "Fuck you, buddy." And I was like, "Yeah, that's great." I eventually became friends with him, and he invited me to go and play games
What,
with
the
him.
fuck you, buddy guy?
Yeah, became friends.
Oh.
Because I was like, dude, that was them. I'm a different person. Like, I
was Games Workshop then, and now I am Rob.
Yeah, and I'm Rob. And then we became friends, and that was nice. It was a very funny story. But
nice.
again, no prep, no presentation, Space Marine book, nothing. Like, there's the book.
Yeah,
and you're
That's
like, wild. But that's kind of like reference to working cons for Games Workshop was a bit of a negative because like you two probably have experienced underprepared, under-resourced, understaffed. But I've obviously gone to a lot of events doing live streaming.
Yes.
And that's fun.
It is
I like
fun.
that. And the energy's always really high.
Yeah,
People are really excited. I love those things. That's why I run events. I love seeing people be happy, and like it's a
I
great...
hope you're ready to parent my entire Discord. They love you.
I will have...
They think you're their dad.
So basically, Peach is going to be able to confirm this for me. So Louise will be busy for the entire day because people will be talking at her.
Yeah,
that will be true.
Yeah.
No, they'll be talking to me.
Okay, perfect. But
Thank
people
you.
will be engaging with you.
Yes, and that's fun.
Nice. Which means I'll have... like it will be me on the stall, which I'm very okay with.
I will also be being like, Rob.
You will be
I'll
nowhere
bring
near
you
it.
tea.
Thank you.
I'll bring you
Can
tea.
I have a tea?
I thank you. I appreciate you. But I intend every person who comes up and is like, "Do you want any help?" politely. Don't offer. I'm taking it. Right. I'm gonna have like 37 people working with me
honestly,
by the end of the day.
I
I'm
think
like,
you
you're
could-
doing that. You're doing that. This is how you do the till. Right. Like, I just no. You can't have lunch yet. You've got an hour left. Yeah.
Honestly, I think a lot of people would be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, if you want people to be running the Rascal Town stall, I ain't mad.
I'd buy a rascal of all of them as well.
Yeah,
He
I
is
mean,
the
so I
biggest
don't expect to be able to get any time outside
No.
of standing at the store for the day.
Yeah.
So I'll just be working.
It will be busy. It will be hectic.
Yeah.
And
It is
the
busy.
draw, which is the Sugden. Ben Jefferson, by the way, was the name.
Oh,
Great guy.
Jefferson.
Jeffers.
Yeah.
But so I'm not looking forward to it because I'm looking forward to it.
But
It'll
you're
be
going to be
great.
working.
But I'll be working.
Me
Like,
too. So I'm going to be out the stall twice, and that's going to be 3 times maybe painting competition, which I want to enter. I've got the makers thing, and we're doing art in miniature.
Oh,
so,
cool, yeah.
Yeah. The documentary. It's like the international premiere at Salute.
That's going to be really fun.
Very exciting.
Oh, can I bring up one thing I am excited about?
Yes.
So, like, I have a toxic trait, not just Twitter.
Which one?
Which is like,
Which one?
whereas like, so the people that are coming up because they want to buy Rascals, easy. That's not what I'm needed for. I'm like, there's a Rascal. Thanks very much.
There's a Rascal.
Off you go into the wide world, you cute little patootie. Yeah, but there's going to be some old guy who's going to be like, I hate this.
Okay,
Yeah?
okay, let's role play. Let's role play.
And he, like, my dream, this is what I'm excited about, is that he goes home with a rascal.
Yes,
That's all I
How
want.
does that work?
I want him to be like,
It's
colourful
like
minis.
intro in a chav who's coming to mock you.
Yeah,
in
like-
Okay,
retail.
right. So role play. All right. My name's Jeff. Sorry, that's the wrong. That's the wrong.
Jeff Benison.
Shut up. My name's Reginald.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
Hi, Reginald. You know how your
Are
grandkids don't talk to you?
these? I hate them. One of them's gay.
We can't put any of this in the podcast.
Reginald is gay.
Delete all of this.
Are these
Members only.
goblins woke?
I'll say, listen.
No,
like,
answer the question,
the
young
important
man.
thing for you to remember is when you were down mines.
I remember
back in
Tut Pit.
Back in day.
Back
No.
in day, I spent 72 hours with my dad in Tut Pit.
I think the broad strokes are
Good accent.
Thank you.
Yeah, good accent.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the broad strokes are is that there will be some people who are a bit like, whoa, what's this?
Yeah, this isn't.
This is some ambiguous
It's not
metal
cricket.
miniatures named Zulu Warriors. Yeah, which is what I'm here for.
I'm
and I'll be
actually
like,
here for the
okay,
Zulu
I'm going to
Warriors,
try and sell you like a pretty cute goblin. And there's loads of like positives actually, like about the minis which Louise has shown me. Like they're good for kids
Which
because they're
ones?
big.
Oh, my
Yeah,
rascals.
the Rascal Towns. Like, I think there's actually a load of really cute positives about them.
100%, yeah.
So, like, I think that would be a really fun experience to engage with someone. Because I do like engaging with people like that because I'm like, your mindset is very different to mine.
Yeah.
So I want to find out about you, find out what makes you tick, because that adds more to my experience.
Yeah.
The people who are like me, who are going to turn up and buy it, they're not really people who I don't want to engage with. I'm like, you're great, let's be friends.
Yeah,
Like,
but Rascal Town is not a very salute.
You will
Although-
probably find
Yeah.
that those people won't come to your stand because they're there for very specific reasons, which is 7 years war French and so many different scales.
so
gonna
what's
go to
7 years
theirs.
war French?
Oh, well, there's a 7 years war and it's French versus... do you remember, have you ever... The American War of Independence, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The Americas,
I remember.
it's the French versus the British before the American War of Independence,
Yeah.
7 years war. So there's, I mean, I'm just making that up as an example, but you will get historical war gamers, very specific list of things they're after from very specific stands, and they just do the rounds because that's any time of the year they can probably get them because maybe they don't want to pay for postage.
And we
so you
wouldn't-
will
and we
probably
wouldn't-
not get them. There's a fair few stands around which will be like destination stores.
See, this is my toxic trait. I
Rob
want
now
them now.
wants to deep dive.
Like that's my problem.
Yeah.
Like there's
But we
literally
wouldn't
nothing
visit their
that can.
stalls, right? Like me being a little Rascal Town goober wouldn't go to their stalls and be like, "Oh, 7 Year War. What's cute about that?"
Yeah.
Right. So
Whereas what-
like, I don't know. I get it.
No, I absolutely get it.
get
Maybe
it.
you
I
should do
get
a
it.
7 years war goblin for next
They
year.
would hate that.
No, but
In
that's
different
why I'm
scales.
at. I'm like, okay, 7 years war. Tell me about it. They'll start telling me about it. I'm like, cool. Tell me how this goblin works there. They're like, it doesn't. I'm like, come on.
We
this
hate you.
Yeah.
Like, do you
we
know what I mean?
hate
Like,
Of course
you.
there's goblins there. There's got to be goblins.
yeah.
Stop trying to change our hobby.
Yeah, I won't get much
etc.
time for that, but I love these. I love these
dives.
different communities who I've never got to engage with
Yeah.
because they're different people who I've never met before, and that's fun.
I think you're going to really enjoy it.
Yeah, salute next week.
Yep.
We're all excited.
I'm very excited. Not
this week-
it's tomorrow.
Soon.
Oh, yeah. Are you traveling down
Yeah,
tomorrow?
we're going tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because we're setting up.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun setup day, and then we got the 3D print show next week. I'm trying to end the
Thursday.
show here, but I'm really floundering.
We
Don't know what-
have a very busy week ahead of us, both at Rogue Hobbies, Rascal Town, The Honest Wargamer, and Peachy Tips.
Peachy tips. I'm
looking forward to it.
It's going to be
for
really, really
now,
fun. If
We've
you-
been jugs.
Juggz.
You've
Juxtapositioned.
You've been jugs.
And if you've enjoyed it, let us know if you've enjoyed what we're doing here. And then this might go on its own. The problem is we have at the moment is we need a name.
Yep.
Can't do any graphics till we get a name.
So let us know if you have any ideas for a
I
name.
can't put it on YouTube until it has a name.
Do you think YouTube will block us because we're called jugs?
What about, right? You
Yeah.
know, I discovered this yesterday because I'm a hiker, right?
Yeah.
I think Enterprise Rentals couldn't think of a name for their enterprise, so they just left it at Enterprise.
What, Enterprise Podcast?
No, just
Oh.
call it podcast.
I think as far as like ungoogleable names for podcasts,
That's probably the most ungoogleable
that's
name.
probably the most ungoogleable name because then you'd have to type in podcast, and Google just
Podcast.
Well, the point of the podcast. Well, I don't know about you two, so
Juggz
I'm gonna.
cast.
Do you know what, let's end oddly, with what I think the pitch for the podcast is.
Okay,
But
interesting.
then, or actually what you'd like to get out of the podcast.
What do we each go around?
Yeah, we'll go. And
Okay.
I won't, as the person who set it all up and made you two sit down, I won't be the person who goes first.
Okay.
So like Peach, what would you like
you
to,
go first,
from a
Peach.
weekly sit down with Louise and me, and then hopefully some special guests?
Oh yeah, we do
Like,
have
what
an
would you
extra
like to get
table.
out of the experience?
Well, it's obviously, as we've stated in the previous one, which will never go out, it's a play date. It's a play date.
It's a play date.
It's definitely that. What would I like to get out of it? I don't know, just a bit of chin waggle. A chin waggle. I don't know what a chin chaggle is. but
Chaggle.
A chin waggle with just like you guys about stuff that's happening in the world of Warhammer and all things miniature related. And whatever the guest is up to,
Yeah.
if we have one.
Oh, I'm excited. for
You know,
this,
what kind of things that they're doing, whether it's old Warhammer stuff or new sort of emerging sculptors, artists. Whatever.
Is there anyone like not to put you on the spot? Is there anyone?
Sean Bean.
Trish.
Sean Bean.
I want Zendaya.
Okay, wow. Okay, you guys are really pushing the budget out immediately.
I already googled how much Zendaya costs.
And how much do we need?
Slightly outside our budget.
No, you don't know what our budget is. What's our budget? What is
Is
Zendaya?
it £5 million?
Who have you asked for?
Zendaya.
Oh, yeah.
The lassie out of Dune.
Yes, I know.
The Dune lassie.
The Dune lassie.
The Dune lassie.
Isn't she in the
Spider-Man's girlfriend.
Spider-Man? The
Spider-Man's girlfriend, Dune
Isn't she
lassie.
in Spider-Man? Maybe.
Woo!
Peg in.
Hashtag Juggz.
Hashtag Zendaya.
What about you,
please.
Rob? What
Please
about
come.
you?
Please come on our show.
let's do
Oh, no,
Louise.
sorry, not
yeah, if you don't
absolutely.
mind.
Oh, what do I want to get out of the podcast?
Yeah.
Less fear.
Okay.
So I am not a very confident woman. It takes a lot
You hide
for
it
me.
well.
Thank you. It takes a lot for me to get in front of a camera, especially this candidly. So doing this every single week, I think will build up my confidence, which is really great. And what do I want to get out of it? I think I want to get out of it something that people like to watch. I like to call podcasts friendship simulators, a bit tongue-in-cheekly. It's true.
It's good.
It's true, but I think if people get a sense that they can just sit down, join us every week, and just kind of like chill out, I think that'd be really nice. So yeah, that's all I want.
That's
I
great.
don't have big ambitions.
That's good.
I get to have a little coffee every week with you, Peach.
From
It's
Yoke.
nice. From Yoke.
From you, yeah.
From Yoke.
Thanks, Yoke.
Yeah, that's
You can
cute.
sponsor us on Juggz. Thank you. What do you want to get out of this, Rob?
I think you're both very talented people. Like,
It's very kind.
Thank
I know
you.
I'm not,
Thank
but
you.
I
Like
appreciate
that's,
it.
but I
that's
think
a
you
lot.
are. Like, and I think like. And a host of guests that we could potentially get on. Oh, I didn't ask you if there's anyone you could get on as a guest.
Zendaya.
Oh, we're
yeah.
doing okay. We're sticking with Sean Bean and Zendaya.
Oh,
Okay.
I said Trish. I said Trish first.
Okay,
But,
all right. Okay, so please help the show out, guys, because I'm in trouble.
If we actually get Zendaya on the show, like that would be so dope. Like, because everyone's always like, "Oh, Henry Cavill like plays Warhammer," and I'm like, "I want Zendaya to play Warhammer."
Yeah, I get
Like,
you're
that's-
aspirational.
Yeah, I
Paint or play or both?
both honestly. Though, I don't know. Maybe paint so we could be friends.
Yeah.
Saying if Zendaya, you want to be my friend? I'm a, saying it's
Okay,
kind of
all
cool.
Sean Bean, do you want to
Sean
be my
Bean and
friend?
Zendaya.
I'll get you some chips and some Carlin.
I don't know.
Zendaya,
Such a different video date. This episode on Juggz, Peachy and Sean Bean go to the pub and have a ploughman's, and then this week on Juggz, Louise and Zendaya go to the kitty cafe. Like,
No, we just paint in the room and just don't talk to each other.
Rob, who are you going to get on?
there's a bunch of people. Oh, sorry, finish what I'd like this podcast.
Yeah.
I think you're both wonderful people.
Thank
And
you.
I think one of the things about like
We like
presented
you.
content, which you both do very well, is that while obviously your personalities come through, there's like a lot more. And I think one of the things that would be really beneficial to the wider hobby space is watching a couple of professionals like developing what they do as creatives to inspire other people, to give some context for how tough it might be. You know, hearing I can't paint my own minis, or even minis I want to paint, so I don't have time.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like hearing people work 7 days a week. You're like, oh, okay, that's quite a lot. You know, and I'm sure there'll be loads of other subjects coming up in the future.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's also nice is all three of us are very diverse, like different backgrounds, different experiences, different feelings about the thing, which I think is good. And then a guest, there's just a bunch of people who like we could really like help platform or like bring like into the space,
Yeah.
which I think would feel really positive to create something.
Let's get Moonstone in.
Moonstone would be great. Like Max,
We'll have to
turn it
book him
28
in,
Max.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd
Max.
love Max
Love
and
Max.
Tina.
Yeah, like
And
that
all
would be
my
really
friends,
good.
Get all my friends. It's just like widen the play date for me, essentially. Just get all my friends.
It's essentially that. And then also we get to meet loads of cool new people as well.
Yeah,
And I think that would be really fun and positive. So yeah, those are the things that I like. And maybe like, a little bit behind the scenes, like a bit like, what does it take to do X?
Yeah,
Like, I think that would be really fun as well. Like, especially from the context of all three of us who are lifers, wargaming lifers. Lifers.
Lifers.
We're in it for life, Sugs.
Yeah. Do you think there's honest question
Yeah.
to you both? Do you think there's anything that could ever stop you just being like, that's it, minis down, paintbrush down, I'm doing a new hobby, I'm sailing now.
I start a band with Zendaya.
Okay.
Sean Bean tells me what I'm doing is for kids.
He wouldn't.
He wouldn't.
Sean Bean. Oh no. Yeah, if Zendaya was like, I'm a Dune lassie, we're gonna start a band, she'd be like,
Will you be called the Dune Worms?
Dune lassies.
Oh, Dune lassies.
Or just Dune lassies.
The Dune lassies.
Dune
The
lassies.
Frem women. The Frem women.
I think.
So you aren't lifers, you're both just have very specific outs.
Yes. What about you? What would make you hang it all up? Is it the love of a good woman? Is it the...
What would make me hang it up is watching you go off with Sean Bean and you go off with Zendaya to both do your individual projects. And I'd be like, I'm just not doing anything else anymore. I'm just quitting.
Fuck this.
Like, fuck this. That would make more. I don't know. I really. Sometimes I in and out. I'd like to explore more of the industry, and I think the industry, and I'm sure I'll see this at Salute, is fairly backwards. And when I went to Games Workshop, I tried to help push the industry forward by giving them tools to do so. Didn't do much with it for a long time, but still. And then I think that's the thing I'm most interested about, like in the future. Like just because it's the thing I see loads is people having. I really advocate for people playing games because everyone is having a nice time with another person they've just met.
Yeah.
And I don't really know what the point of being alive is apart from that.
Playdates.
Like just play dates.
Yeah,
I guess that's it. Maybe that's what the show could be called. Play dates.
Playdates. It does sound like a 90s kids show.
It's still got like Juggz style referencing as well.
Like it. Honestly, can the two just be very far apart from each other? Preferably.
Not Juggz and play dates.
Yeah, nah.
Never the two
I
for
hate
me.
that.
Sounds like a great play date.
Do not look. Well, there you go.
Thanks for listening to Juggz.
Thank you.
I hope you've all enjoyed it. And thanks to Peachy
Thank you.
and Louise.
And thank you, Rob.
And thank you, Rob.
Thank you. And don't forget, you'll always be safe with our Juggz. Not a good sign off.
That's not a good sign off. Wait, let me.
Okay, you try.
And that's from our Juggz to yours. We wish you fantastic rest of your week. Peachy, your turn. Oh God.
And that is it from Juggz. Remember, folks, motorboat like a machine.
Bye.